Top 3 Disney.
Top 3 Disney.
Today we are thinking about our favorite Disney movies, animated movies. And while we're going to do a top 3, just total disclaimer here, I'm sure we all have dozens of favorite movies. And picking just 3 was really hard. But we did it.
I have 20 movies here.
You have 20?
I was supposed to pick 3?
Just 3.
Oh.
So you have
Top 20 Disney!
All right, Shaylin, what is your third place Disney movie?
My third place is Coco. I just love the detail and the culture of it all, and the music's great, and the storyline's great. It's just such a beautiful movie, so yeah, that's my third place.
Excellent. Tyson, what's your third place movie?
My third place movie is Meet the Robinsons. Very, very, very underrated movie. I love the theme of it. I love the idea. And if you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? Go watch it. I think it's on Disney Plus.
It is on Disney Plus. We watched it many times.
Yep. It's a great movie.
Good one. My third place movie is Tangled, which is my favorite princess movie because I love how spunky Rapunzel is, and I like Flynn Rider and Maximus the horse. And of course Mother Gothel, who is one of my favorite villains ever, maybe because I look like her when she's old and decrepit.
You do not.
Sometimes I do. See? Anyway, Tangled is my third place.
Mother Gothel's got to be the prettiest villain of all time, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good job, baby.
Thanks.
Oh, Matt.
After she sings.
Yes. Mother Gothel is like me when I wake up in the morning, is like right when she's about to die.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, I picked 3 that I didn't think would we would. I mean, I literally put down 10 or 12 movies that I like, but I mean I just kind of chose 3 that I didn't think you guys would pick. But for me, one that any time it's on, I would like watch it and I would enjoy it, and it never seems to get old. Is Emperor's New Groove.
Yay.
I think that's awesome. It's funny. It's a great story. It's creative. I don't know. There's something that I would laugh about that movie every single time I've watched it, which is over 20 times. So, not to say any of these other movies that I don't choose are not incredible. I'm just gonna try to choose movies that I don't think they're gonna pick. So.
Matt does not like choosing favorites. He likes to give credit where credit is due, and there's so many good movies.
Well, in this topic, I think this topic is impossible to pick 3, of your favorite movies. So I mean, because there is so many favorites, but I don't know. Emperor's New Groove just never gets old. There's always something to laugh at. It's
David Spade's humor.
The whole thing. It's great.
And it brings back memories because when you were a toddler, that movie was playing nonstop in our living room.
Yeah. It was back when DVDs were in, and
What's that?
and the the menu scene.
The DVD menu scene. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
I kind of remember that. Actually.
Yeah.
The menu.
And you would dance to it, Tyson.
Or it would just, or maybe you'd fall asleep to it. It would, and then when the movie would be over, it'd go back to it.
To the menu.
And the menu scene, we'd listen or watch it over and over and over again. So.
Oh, DVD menus. Good memories. Okay. Moving on to number 2, Shaylin.
My number 2 is Tangled. I really love Rapunzel. She's one of my favorite Disney princesses. I like how adventurous she is, and also Pascal. Pascal is one of the most adorable side pets that most princesses have. Plus the storyline, I like how it's like they turned an old book into this fun kid movie. So that's my number 2.
My number 2 is Wall-E. Great idea. Basically, what our world's gonna be in the future.
Say it a lot. We're turning into Wall-E.
I just think it's genius because it's really what the world's gonna turn into. Just screen in front of you. So, I just think it's a great way to represent what our world's gonna be. It's sad, but love it.
Such a unique story.
Such a unique story.
And the whole
Love the
beginning
music.
of the movie with no talking.
Yeah,
No, they tell that story
Yep.
with no words.
it's great. Another underrated movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Excellent. Well, my number 2 is a classic, The Lion King. When I think back to the old classics, like, I just have to mention Little Mermaid because that came out when I was in high school and it was like the rebirth of Disney animation and I know every word in that movie. But when I think about those classic movies, The Lion King, the original storyline, the music, how funny it is, like you could watch it today and it's still just as great as it ever was. So, Lion King.
Well, my goal of choosing movies that these guys didn't pick didn't really turn out too well because my number 2 is Meet the Robinsons as well. It probably would be on my top 3 anyway. I do think, like Tyson said, it's an underrated movie. I think it's creative. The whole thing being about Walt Disney himself is cool. So there's a nice message there. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, do it. It's awesome. I don't know.
It's got one of your favorite villains as well.
Bowler Hat Guy is one of my favorite villains. Yeah, it's a great story, and I could watch it all the time and it never get old. So that's my number 2, Meet the Robinsons.
And number 1.
Top choice.
Top choice.
My number 1 is Frozen 2.
She is obsessed.
I have watched this movie like probably almost 15 times. It never gets old because the animation quality. People are like, it gets old after like 2 times I watch it. And I'm like, Tyson, shut up. I can't get over how much the animation changed from the first movie to the second movie. I watched the first movie and the Frozen 2 back to back, and I was like, whoa. The storyline is amazing, how Anna just wants to stay with her sister, and then they separate at one point. It's just such a good movie, so.
Oh, can I also mention Olaf's retelling of the story? That makes the whole movie. Okay, thank you.
My number 1 is The Lion King. Great music, great story. Probably the number one reason why I love it because I watched it so many times when I was a little kid. Another saying is Festival of Lion King. The show, Animal Kingdom, it's great. That was just, has nothing to do with the movie, but yeah, Lion King is my number 1.
So I had thought long and hard because people ask me all the time what my favorite Disney movie is, and I usually just say The Little Mermaid because it has such deep roots for me. But I've decided my number 1 Disney movie right now is Coco. It's, again, a creative, unique story that educated me about a culture I didn't really know a lot about. The visuals in it, the colors, the realism, and the music. I love the music. And then just the ending. My goodness. Just gets me every time. So, yeah, right now it's Coco.
It's a good one. Like father, like son, or like son, like father. Mine's The Lion King.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't really beat the music. The music is incredible. I do think at the time, and again, I'm not a history buff or anything, during that time when it came out, it was kind of a game changer in the animation world. It kind of seemed very fresh, kind of different effects and things like that. And there was also how cameras can, focus on one thing, but another thing is unfocused, and there's layers within that, and
I didn't realize that.
but I'm not claiming I'm an expert in all that. It seemed to be fresh, just like when when the whole digital thing came out. It just looked, it was animation, but it was different, you know. So I like when Disney takes an idea that's not an older story, like what, Cinderella?
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, all the princess movies.
Yeah, I mean they're Tangled.
Even Tangled.
All that stuff is kind of another story, you know. But I love it when Disney takes something and it's totally. It might be a similar kind of story, as you know.
I think The Lion King was based on Hamlet.
Yeah,
Something
or
like that.
do something like Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet. It seems a very creative way of doing something, not an actual, you know, story. I've always loved that when they've done something different like that. Hard to top Lion King for me.
I remember seeing it in the movie theater. Did you see it in the movie theater? I think I saw it like 4 or 5 times when it came out because I loved at the end of the beginning credits when it goes. It makes that big boom sound and it says The Lion King on the screen. How loud that was in the theaters. And everyone's like, they should re-release that into the theater so you guys can experience it in the theaters. That was really good. Okay.
Did you take me to see it?
You were not even born when The Lion King came out.
Really?
Wow. If you had any honorable mentions, Matt, and you cannot list 17 of them, please.
Just do like 2.
All right, get comfy.
Well,
Honorable mentions.
the honorable mentions are ones that are kind of, although the Toy Story, we didn't mention Toy Story.
We didn't.
Toy Story 1, you can't beat that. I love the 4th one. I know a lot of people don't, so they thought it should have been over, but I thought the idea was great, and I think the 4th one is excellent, actually.
Forky for the win.
It's great. It's great stuff. So,
Forky for the win.
but I love the recent movies that do send a message. You know, Tyson mentioned Wall-E. You know how it was a creative idea that has brilliant moments within the movie, but then sends a message of stop polluting the earth and, you know, stop putting yourself into a screen and all of that. It's just, it's an incredible message to make all of us better. Zootopia is another one. It's, you know, how we treat each other. You know, they use animation to send messages. Like, it's brilliant how they do that. Arguably, one of the most awesome moments that Disney does often is when they have a span of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, where there's no talking. It's just sounds, music, and faces and stuff like that. And the beginning of Up is incredible. Every time I watch that, it gets you every single time. And
so hard to do when it comes to storytelling.
And they do that better than anybody. And just the, you know, facial expressions and the music and how the music goes with, and then it just stops, and then they use silence. You know, it's just you know, those were my honorable mentions, really. I mean, I put Toy Story in case nobody said anything about it, but I mean, that's awesome. But then, yeah. So those are my honorable mentions.
What Dad said.
Yeah, mine have all been mentioned. Up was probably gonna be the one.
I put Monsters Inc. on my list. I put Tangled on my list. I
Just
put
original.
Just all the movies.
Incredibles on my list.
And I would even venture to say Frozen. I know that was huge hype when it came out. Everyone was like, "Oh my God!" Everyone's jumping on the Frozen bandwagon. But when that movie first came out, it was like
It woke up Disney.
we just saw Onward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see
We'll
that
just
again?
do a quick little review of it.
Are you gonna spoil it for people who haven't seen it?
No, I'm not going to tell the story. Just what we thought of it.
It's funny.
I had low expectations because when I saw the preview, I was like, "Oh, this is just going to be all about like Spider-Man and Star-Lord's voices," and you know, like, it just didn't look like it was going to be good to me.
I didn't think Up was gonna be good.
Yeah.
A movie called Up.
I remember you making fun of that.
Called Up.
And I remember you seeing a poster of like, up.
I think we were
Balloons.
in
We're
Hollywood.
gonna watch a
Balloons.
house.
I think
Okay,
we were in
great.
Hollywood Studios and they used to put
Yes,
those posters of the
that's
upcoming
exactly
movies.
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Up. But Onward, 2 thumbs up for me. It really surprised me. I was cracking up.
It was so
And,
funny.
Chris Pratt, hilarious.
Fantastic.
And just,
And, you know-
of course, the message at the end, you know, like,
Of-
they do it every time.
Yeah, yeah. But siblings taking care of each other, you know. There they are. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see it again. So,
Yes.
but it was good.
Hey, why don't we watch it tonight? I'll make the popcorn.
Okay.
I'm in.
Party pooper.
I'll play 2K.
Play 2K. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging with us. Make sure you tell us your favorite Disney movies.
And what we miss.
And don't yell at us. Be kind. Okay, on that note,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.